Okay, on this, today, we're going to talk nailers. So Gary wrote me an email. Gary, I always appreciate the email. And you guys can always email me at the Daveadubson@gmail.com. You're more than welcome on anything, any kind of questions. I'm here for you. So you can always email me. You can comment. I have been keeping up on the comments pretty well. And if you guys jump in here, if you don't mind, give the video a like. But anyway, so Gary was asking what kind of trim nailer. So I still use the old 18 volt, right? I had to pay about $300-400 for these back in the day. I'm sure they've gone up, and I'm sure you can't get the 18 volts anymore unless you get them on eBay or something. So I kind of wanted to do a little bit of a demonstration. I don't know if you guys can see below here. I can see it in my video, but I don't know if you guys can see the weather seal. I did bring a few sheets of metal because he was kind of asking about will it go through metal and stuff like that. So I kind of want to demonstrate some of that. But yeah, so I used to. You guys will have to comment below. I see Mr. Liftmaster guy. He jumped in and he said, "You guys are more welcome to add any comments in here and just say hello or anything." I can see. Awesome, awesome. So also before I forget, I'll get into a little more details. I'm actually going to be doing a giveaway if anybody's interested. So the catch will be is you got to be a subscriber. You got to give this video a like, and I'll give you some details how you can win this. Like I said, biggest thing is you got to be a subscriber and give this video a like. But these are suspenders. I actually just switched mine out today. Here's my old pair. If I can get it. I got an old pair of suspenders, and I found out that these ones are the best. The reason being is they clip onto your belt, and so it depends. Whatever you're wearing. I just threw these black ones on. You can see right here. I got the same ones. I'm about a 200-pound guy on a good day, give or take. They fit me. If you guys can see, I'm right about here on my level. I can go down here. So if you're a little bit bigger guy, they should work. They say they're an S1 or 1S. I have no clue what the heck that means. But if you're interested, like I said, all I gotta do is be a subscriber. We'll give it about a week or so. And comment below, what should I do? Comment below what's your favorite trim nailer. Or just say, I don't use a trim nailer. I don't have a trim nailer at all. What trim nailer do you like brand-wise? And I'll pick through them and we'll do a giveaway on this. These suspenders here. Like I said, S1, or 1S on here. If you can see that. They're Dickies. They've been the best ones I found so far. The ones that I clipped onto my belt wrecked my belt over time. This one's just got a loop in the back. Like I said, these are the old ones. I went with black this time. I think you should too, because the black ones just don't show up so much dirt. These ones did pretty well because they're underneath the clothes, but you got one hook in the back. It goes under your belt. And then you got two up in the front. They work really good. I tell you what, if you're a guy like me and you've always fought suspenders, or your belt. See, I wear a lot of gear though. I got a Leatherman on here. I got cell phone, I got flashlight. I got stuff in my pockets, right? Wallet. I got all kinds. I got a lighter in there. I don't smoke, but in case you need to start a fire. So, like I said, become a subscriber. If you're already a subscriber, my fellow fans, go ahead and, like I said, I'll give these away. We'll probably do a wheelbarrow or something. We'll do a tumble on it. So anyway, so Gary was asking about the trim nailer. Now, you have to remind me. I remember, I think it's the aluminum ones. I've had this box for so long. I got these, I think you gotta go with the steel ones. So you gotta find them for steel, for your trim nailers, right? They gotta be steel because otherwise they bend on you. I think the aluminum ones, if I remember, I haven't used these in such a long time. Now these ones were good. I had to use this on a little a project, for one of the rentals. And around the trim of the window or something. And these didn't bend. But I remember the aluminum ones, I believe, they bend, they're junk. So correct me if I'm wrong. But like I said, I think you got to get the coated ones that are steel. I don't think this one says on it what it is because I tried to keep the box alive for so long. I wish it said what they were, if they're actually steel ones or not. Anyways, so these are the hand bangers. Let me show you, where'd my choppers go? We talked about this on a previous other video. The choppers. These things are amazing. I didn't even know these things existed. Let me jump on here. What model? What model? What model? Are we talking about the trim nailer? We're talking about the trim nailer. I don't know. This is a 16. This is a 16 gauge. This one's a DC618. If you can see that. That's what this is. This is an old girl, man. But this one, these things were tried and true. They're easy to undo the jams if you get a jam in the nose. I like the angle. I really like the angle for getting up in corners if you're doing trim around a garage door. They work really nice. But anyways, back to the old cutters here. So these cutters work really super duper nice. And I like the ones that have the little compartment. I don't want to spill these everywhere. Oh, I almost did. Got the little compartment. So they keep your blades in there. But these, I'm going to cut a little chunk here. I'm cutting the wrong way. So let me flip this around. This is a chunk of weather seal, trimmer seal, vinyl stop, foam stop, however you want to call it. And give it a chopper chop. Ooh, almost knocked the camera over. Always got a little tail there. Bam. Okay, now we got ourselves a nice little chunk here. All right. I think I'll get rid of this piece. And some of you guys, when you do your nailing for your foam stop, vinyl seal, trim seal, whatever you want to call it, you know, using little nails. The problem with nails is it's kind of slow. Do I think the heads hold up a little bit better? I think so. But I think you can ultimately, what you can do is you can put more nails in. One thing I've learned when it comes to when you're putting trim nails in on weather seal for a garage door, I have never had anybody ever complain about too many nails because they leave such little marks on here. And I'll bring you guys down closer here in a minute after I kind of get things fired up. And if you guys also, if you're here, you're more welcome to ask any questions about garage doors or business or anything. Don't be worried about jumping off topic. I'll try to answer some of that stuff while I'm kind of putting this together. I got some thinner steel here, basic for roofing. I'm going to layer these up a little bit. So, I'll cut a couple pieces here. Let's see what we can do. I could only find these for cutters around here. Of course, they're a little rusty crusty. Let's see what we can do here. Now, one thing I did notice, I fired a couple nails into this wood. The problem is there's radiant floor going on in here, and so everything's a little spongy. So we're gonna do our best. I'm gonna hold everything down. I think we can do it. So anyways, here's a little piece of metal. I'm gonna slip that under here. See if I can bring you guys down a little closer. See if I can bring you down a little closer. And how do you propose you do that, Dave? You need a mouthpiece. Let's go like this. Stand by. Coming down. I don't flip you guys down, hopefully. Something like that. Okay. Oops. Let's see if we can get you to stay right there. If you guys can. All right. Capiche? Capiche. What's up, Mr. Sky? I even brought a drink for Mr. Sky. And my other fellow loyal fans. So there we go. Thanks for giving me a break. Cheers. Just water. Remember, kids, no drinking on the job. All right. So, where's the goodies? Okay, so this one's got like a wheel that spools up on it. We're going through the one piece of metal. We got the piece of wood. I already got a little nail in here just for looks, I guess. Hopefully this stuff don't bounce all off. Remember, use your... Okay, so right now we went through that piece of metal, no problem. It fired right through it. I do know that these trim nailers will fire through pretty good amount of steel for the most part. Any trim on residential has normally been pretty fine. I never had too much of a problem. The big thing is let it wind up whatever you're using. So let it really spool up. If you're using obviously an air type style, well, there's only so much you can do. So let's get a piece that's got 2 layers, see how that does. Like I said, my old neighbor, she's a little old, that's for sure. And those are 16 gauge nails. I didn't say that. This is a 16 gauge brad nailer. Works pretty good. Oh, already got battle wound on the job. Jeez, hope you guys got workman's comp. So these nails are actually angled. And they're 16. I normally go sometimes 2 inch, 2.5. It just kind of, I just normally, I just can't go wrong with 2 inch. It never has really been too much of a problem. I think holster, of course, is gone over the years. Bummer. All right, let's see here if we can get 2. She can go through 2 pieces of metal here. We'll have them stacked up like so. I hope everybody's having a good day. All right, we're gonna go right here. We're gonna see how she does. Like I said, it's a little springy. But you listen, I'm gonna let it wind up. Went through it no problem. It sunk it down good. Sometimes these things, what I've learned with these trim nailers is I actually angle it a little bit. I'm doing more direct, so I don't have to get embarrassed on a live stream of this thing crimping out. I think we're gonna be able to go through 3. I don't know about 4. We'll see how she does. But it sunk that one, no problem. Not a problem. All right, let's see if we can get another piece. Let's see how we're gonna do this one. I think we might just jump to 4. And like I said, if you guys, hopefully you can still comment on the video afterwards, because I don't really see a lot of video comments on the videos after. But like I said, if you're interested, or if you want to be a real good doobie, you can always email me and say, I need those suspenders. Because like I said, I'm doing that giveaway if you just jumped in of the suspenders. Free of charge, no. I even paid for the shipping. Okay, so I got stacked twice here. I think I'm gonna go one more over like this. So how many is that? That's 1, 2, that's 4. We're gonna see if she'll go through 4. We're gonna do it. That's quite a bit of meat. I know if you get on commercial grade, I'm back, Travis says. I'm glad you're back. There we go. So there's that. Hopefully I don't bleed out too much. I want to make sure it's flat, so we got a good, because like I said, everything on here unfortunately is spongy, so it's not as good a test as it would be on your house. Your house ain't going to be so spongy on here. All right, let's give her a whirl. Went through that one, no problem too. Make sure, yep, I went through. So 4 layers of this metal, this puppy fired through. Now I forget how far I go. I probably go about, I don't think I go about 1 foot in spacing. I normally go about 8 inches, give or take, on my spacing for my trim. What I've learned is over the years, it's like when you do the top, nail it good. And then obviously I always do my sides to kind of hold up the top. You know, you don't do your sides first and then your top. You do the top, do the lid first. Kind of like drywall, right? You always do lid, then you do the walls, right? Well, and if it's tight, just remember, you got to watch if it's tight, because if it starts bowing, I used to do this. I used to cheat, right? I could get it to pop up in there, that weather seal, but you got to remember there's expansion and contraction. And with expansion and contraction, it will try to fight and try to pop those heads, because you got to remember, unfortunately, you know, on a normal hand banger, right, for the most part, these have a nice big head on them. So they hold up pretty good, but it will work them out. I guarantee it. If you got that weather seal tight, no good. But what I found is, regardless, I just nail it really good, because a callback costs you a ton of money, a ton. Oh, if you guys are still here too, if you wouldn't mind, please hit that like button. Like I said, just brings more people in, more conversations, more people for the giveaway. I know. Settle down. What's up, Mr. Tony? I see you jump in here. Let's hit the button. What does it say? Oh yeah. What? Oh, Tony, it says your message has been redirected. I don't know what happened. I don't think somebody jumped you out. So, weather seal, like I said, bam, bam, bam. Oh, like button for date. Oh, there you go. Thanks, Tony. So, the trim nailers. I don't even know if Milwaukee makes one. I'm sure they do. I just haven't busted out the big guns, because these have been, I still got like 3 of these left from the old trucks. And besides the belts have been the only thing that's tore up in them on me. They're very robust and very reliable. So I just still like the old 18 volts. So I'll carry a couple batteries around on the truck for it. So is that trim finish or Brad? That's a great question. I believe, let's see, it says it's a finish nailer. It says it's an 18 volt DC finish nailer. It says, like I said, here's the model. I think it says it right about here. If you can read that, if it'll show up, but it's a finish nailer. That's what I've always used. I haven't had too much problem. I forget the name of it. I think they're like Stanco or something like that. Start with an S, I believe. They're a red box. I get them at Menards. That's where I buy the trim nails for it, and they work flawless. They seem like they work really good. I'm gonna try to get another piece of metal here, if I don't cut my fingers up too bad, and see if we can go through even a thicker piece. Because why not? Why not? We're here. Okay, so let's say that one. Let's go with another chunk. A lot of times too, where I'll fight a trim nailer is it'll be if it's springy. You know, if your wood behind there is real springy, that's where you'll have problems. You know what I mean? But if it's solid, like a pole barn, you know, like solid post, 4x4, 6x6, 8x8, whatever they are, real solid, and you're shooting up against that, you have a lot better luck with your nails going through. All right, so that's the 4. We'll do one more metal. That'll get us up to 6. I don't know. I get a little bit. I'm a little leery about 6. But like I said, I'm kind of demonstrating this. You know, this is probably a little bit thinner than what your trim's going to be. You know, like the fascia board, basically, if you're putting weather seal around. 2 of them, I think you're about in the right density. That feels about right for residential. Commercial's a different animal, but typically commercial is steel buildings, and you're doing clip mount seal. So All right, let's do these. So this is going to be like 6 layers. I got to hold it over. So we'll do that one next. That one's got me a little nervous. This one's gonna, I think this one's gonna jam up. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make sure this thing's nice and firm, baby. And let's hope this puppy's got enough juicy juice. And we're gonna see if we're gonna jam her up. I'm not gonna look. Woo! She did it. She did it, no problem. No problem. Let me make sure. Oh yeah, I can feel the nail underneath. Yep, not a problem. So that just goes to show you kind of how strong these are. I don't know really about any other brand. These have been just always my tried and true, man. Right here, the old 18 volts. I love the 18 volts. You know what I always really loved about the 18 volts? Was this. You're doing something, hand something, whatever. You set it down, put the battery on. I don't like the slides. I got the Milwaukee's. I don't like the clip in the slides. Now, have I seen, back in the day, I've seen these when they get busted up, fall out, and hit the ground when I'm up in the air? Absolutely. And that stinks. But for the most part, if you keep them in pretty good shape and you know, they hold on. But I always really loved how these always dropped into a battery charger. They just kind of rattle down in there. And I always like that, like I said, you could just have it. If somebody handed it to you, right, and you're doing something else or on a ladder or whatever, bam. Or you could reach over to them, pull my battery. You know, if you got a helper, they just seem like they've been really good over the years. Another thing somebody was always telling me, date them, date your batteries. That's a very good idea. See if I can take this off at all. See what kind of mess. But you can see how I can still pull this off. Let me see how you see how I'm pulling those off, right? Let me just give that one a whack. That one's got grippies on it. Oh, here we go. So now we're down. Hopefully you can see that. And move this over just a fuzz. But this is the hand banger, right? That's pretty tough. Yeah, I'm gonna probably break that. That hand banger. So I mean, that just shows you the strength of. There's nothing wrong with hand banging them. It just takes more time, more precision. I've literally had to use because I've smashed my fingers up so many times on them. You have to use a pair of little tweezers, you know, vice grips, your Leatherman, whatever, to hold them. You know, as you hold it and then you pound it. It's not a lot of fun. So it's just, I mean, if you said, hey, Dave, man, I want this to last for a million years, what do you recommend? I'd go the hand bangers, probably the stainless. It's some kind of steel, a stainless steel with the white coating on them, I believe. They don't bend over. Like I said, if anybody knows. Because there's a, like I said, I can't find it on here. I wish I could. It's just so wrapped up over the years. But it's I can tell these are the good ones. And man, other ones bend on me so easily. Let me see if I can rip this up again. See what happens. Oh no. And it's got little ribs on it, so it's really stuck. Ah, there she goes. Broke it. But I'll get you a little bit closer here. You can kind of see. Like I said, there was the one layer went through, not a problem. 2 layers. What did we jump to? 4. And we went to 6. Like you said, she went through it. Not a problem. So just something to be aware of. Are you guys gonna stay there? Hope you don't fall over. I got it tipped a little bit on the extreme. Where is this one? Oh, I didn't know we made weather seal still in the USA. This one says it's made in the USA. Cool, that's awesome. Like that. Now sometimes I still, if they got the divots in them, I've used the trim nailer, and the hand bangers look a little nicer. But that's about all I know. I think on the trim nailers. Unless you guys got questions, but you guys are more welcome to ask any other questions too. The 18 volt XRP, a lugger, man, heavy but reliable. I always lose little nipples. They always give you little rubber nipples for them. They're gone. They're always gone. They never last. Let me see if I can tip you back here. maybe I'll bring you over to the chair here. I don't flip you over. Always gotta have a chair. Always gotta have a drink. Let me take a break for a minute, would you? Ooh. Read some of your guys' comments. Thanks for being here. All right, let's see what we got here. Going back up, Johnny up. I gotta figure out this tripod for a second, but it's killing me. It's not playing nice. It's not playing nice at all. All right, what do we got? Hi Dave, what model? Cheers, I'm back. What time do you usually go live? Oh, that's a great question. So, you know, Travis, I haven't got a lot of, how do I say it? I haven't had enough people really ask for a certain time, and it's like for me, it's a little bit difficult. So I don't really have normally a set time. What I try to do is I try to make it so if people have questions, typically the best way is to email me, and then I typically like to do a video. But there's sometimes I do get people that will message me and they want to keep it private, which I totally understand, and I respect that, and I do that. So a lot of times, a lot of people, they email me if they got specific questions and stuff. I like to share them with other people, but I don't really have a specific time. I was trying to shoot for like Tuesdays, but my schedule bounces up a lot, especially when you got kids and they got sports. So the schedule can change a lot. I thought about maybe doing like Sundays, but it's hard. It's just hard to find a certain time. But if you got any recommendations, I'm always, like I said, I'm always here for you. I'm back with time. Nicely done. Awesome. Let's hit the thumbs. Yeah, that's right. If we can hit the thumbs up, it just helps. Like I said, it looks like about 20 some people. If we get that up to at least 10 likes, that'd be awesome. Let's see here. Mr. Tony. Whoa. What's this Queen's using? Milwaukee? I use the Milwaukee 15 gauge. 15 gauge, huh? It's a slightly bigger. Boy, that sounds like a good idea. Using the Milwaukee 15 gauge. Honestly, I didn't know. The only thing I wonder is on the Milwaukee 15 gauge, how hard is it to find the nails? Because like for this one, it's like I go to Menards. I won't buy any from. I won't use like the pass load or anything. There's a certain brand that, like I said, I thought it's Stanco or something like that. I wish I had the package. I don't. But that's all I'll use in them because I never had any problems with them. But I've used other brands and the heads, they hit funny and they get jammed up. And when you're relying on this bad boy, when you're relying on this and you're out in the field, and then for me, like I used to carry, you really should carry these for backup. The nails, the hand bangers, is what I call them. But I got to a point where I kind of didn't. And so then I was like, I need that gun to be super reliable. Plus, with speed, the speed is key, man. You gotta keep moving, baby. Time is money. But I didn't even know Milwaukee offered that, so that's kind of cool to know. And I agree with a bigger head would be kind of nice because I know these are right on the limit of kind of thin. But I never had no problems when you put more nails than not enough. Now, if you do it every 2 foot, especially on the top, I've had it where the garage door comes down and it pulls that weather seal and constantly. And I tell you what, there's nothing worse than getting a call from a customer and the customer goes, hey, you installed that door like 3 weeks, a month ago, whatever, or 2 months ago. You're like, yeah. And they're like, well, the weather seal's coming down. And there's nothing worse than having to go back out and do a service call free. you know, for weather seal coming down because you didn't put enough nails in it. Like I said, I've never had a customer ever. I think maybe one and a point half of one might have commented on one before and said something about it. But I never had anybody go, oh my gosh, look at all the nails you put in this thing. This is ridiculous. Like they're so small. You know, they're just so small. I mean, obviously here's the one I broke. You can see that imprint of that one. That one was pretty big, you know, from that, but it held up good too. But like I said, these little nails are like ring shanks. I can feel it on there. Just a small bite on there, ain't much. But there's a little bit I can feel. This one doesn't feel like it. Why do I feel like the other one had it and this one doesn't? Is it just my mind's playing games on me? Oh yeah, this one feels better. Oh yeah, I can feel it in this one. I can feel it in my fingernails. That one's got some grip. You can't see it probably in the camera, but it's got some grip on her. I can feel it. Oh yeah, yeah. So something to think about. All right, so what's trim, finish nailer, Brad? Okay, we already mentioned that. I think that it was a finish nailer. Probably made for interior. Not outdoors. It says the M18 is sweet, no ramp up. Okay. Bump fire mode. Ooh, that's nice. That's nice. I wonder if anybody's had any problems though, like I did with that one video of my nailer. I don't know if the Brad nails. I thought they had a second generation now too on them. I could be wrong with that. Where they came out with the first gen, I think now they're on a second gen for the Brad nailers. That's what I heard one time through the grapevines. Excuse me. I hope you can buy one in New Zealand. Oh man, there you go. Is it Queen Jets? Queen Jets. He's got it. The Senko nails. Yep, that's it. They got the red package or red label on top. That's the ones, man. That's what I buy. I buy them. It seems like I can only find them at Menards. What's up? Is it his memory? Is it his memory? Hello, I'm trying to spread happiness. Hope your day goes amazing. Luck is strong. Awesome. That's awesome, man. Nothing like, you can't go wrong with kindness in the world, right? We are all new. What was it? We have all new guys. Hand nail for the first year or so. Yeah, so I'm gonna call you the last one, Jets. Jets is probably, that's probably a good point. Trim nailers can get you in trouble because if you don't know exactly what you're doing, you know, a lot of stuff comes with like a feel. You know, it's like a feel. Like you gotta know how to do the weather seal, and hand banging slows you down, and you have to meditate and you have to focus, right? Seems like one thing that is nice about the nailers though is you don't get so many fingerprints on there. I typically would carry a pair of gloves, like surgical gloves, you know, like the latex gloves. And I put them on because even though I wear those one gloves, even like touching this stuff right now, my hands are actually got that little bit of film, that oily dirt on them. So I would, I'd bring, at the end of the job, I just, you know how it is. I ain't got rags to wash my hands. Even if I use rags, I've tried it all. If you don't get your hands squeaky clean and perfectly dry, it seems like you're leaving fingerprints all over the weather seal, and you got to go back and clean it. And it just seems like for some reason, maybe you guys agree, maybe you disagree, but when it comes to garage doors and weather seal, it's like when you touch it, it zaps to it, and it's super hard to get it off. You know, I've used Purple Power, I've used Simple Green, I've even used spray lube, which you really shouldn't. You know, I've used spray lube because I just didn't have anything else just to wipe stuff down. And it's like it still leaves a residue there. So I just like to put on latex gloves, and at the end of the job, you know, so I ain't gonna mess with it when I'm putting my weather seal on. And then I'm gonna really go back and clean it. Maybe a few spots here and there just from stuff touching the ground or this and that, but it's not like, you know, because when you're at the end of the job, man, it's like you're just constantly looking for, like, you know, like, is that one? Ooh, no, is that one? Ooh. You know, I like to just go, it ain't from my hands. I had gloves on, you know, squeaky clean. Less work at the end. Queenie says, I leave the nail head out about, let's just say 1/4 inch, so they can adjust if needed. That's interesting. What's up, Mr. Kevin? Says, we tried senior trim nailer. Doesn't seem to hold as well as nails. Plus, when you had to change the trim, the trim nailer always seemed to pull all the way through. Oh, Senko. Yeah, it's kind of, we tried. So if you try trim nailer, see, I was gonna buy one of those, the Senko trim nailers, because it had like, it was a gas powered one, and I thought that was just new and coolest thing. But I never did. I never pulled the trigger on it. And I liked it because I think it was battery operated, and it didn't have any gas stuff, no fuel, you didn't have to put fuel in it type stuff. And like I said, these things just being battery powered, they've held up really well. The nail heads, yes, I would agree, the nail heads are a little bit on the thin side, but if you put enough nails in it, doesn't seem to be a problem. I've also, I don't know if I've done it so much with the hand bangers, but I have done it where it's like, if you got to adjust the trim, you take a 2x4, a little chunk behind it, and you kind of whack it, and it'll help push the trim in just a little bit. If you got to get maybe 1/8, 1/4 inch. But like I said, over the years, I think one of the guys got a rigid now. He's got a newer, one of the guys has got a newer Dewalt. And then what else? What's the other cat got? Oh, I lost my light. Hope you can still see me. I'm trying to think what the other cat has. Got rigid. Oh, I think it's, I can't think of it. I think it starts with an M. I can't think of that brand. Brain fart. Let's see, leave the nail at something. We tried Senko. What's, I missed your lives. This is my second live I caught. Cool. Awesome, Travis. Glad you're here. Glad you made it. Like I said, it's kind of off the wall a little bit. I might start setting it up maybe a little more. It's kind of one of those things for the lives. I just haven't, I haven't had enough demand for it because a lot of times, like when I do them, I'm more or less, I'm looking for certain people that they got questions or garage door related, things like that, that can, they can pick my brain. And I know that might be a little bit difficult because but they also, like I said, I always put my email out there, the Daveadubson @gmail.com in the description below. So that way, if they want, they can always reach out to me. I don't know if some people are kind of scared about that, but you just have to remember, there's no dumb question. You know what I mean? We all started out, and plus if you're emailing me, and like I said, even like, I don't give out the last name, like Gary here. Gary asked about the trim nailer, but I don't give out his last name. So, if you don't want me to put out your name and all too, that you can just always say, hey, but I had a guy just not too long ago, I made up a fake name on one of the videos because he just didn't want his real name, which is understandable. But like I said, if I had enough people that were kind of like, man, I really want on your live stream for this or that. Oh, I see what's his name. Is it Melco? No, I don't think it's Melco. I'm trying to think, what's the one that's like a greenish? Makita. Isn't it Makita? Makita is the one. I think it's a Makita. That's what I'm thinking. Because I think that was that Rich or was that Tony? I don't know. One of you guys messaged me. I think it's Makita is what the other guys got. It's the one I know. One of the saws it takes 2 big batteries, man. It's almost ridiculous. For the skill saw, I'm like, you got to put 2 batteries in that thing? I'm like, holy cow! What are you trying to do? Cut your knee open? Like I did. What about a certain time? I think I kind of answered that a little bit. Tony, we're almost to 10. Guys, need 10 more to hit the thumbs up. Oh, yeah. Shoot, we're at 8, man. Darn right. Come on, man. That's right, Tony. Get them up. We're at 8. If we can get to 10, it would just make my night. I would just sleep so much better. And like I said, we're gonna have to figure out something. If you don't see the comment, like I said on the giveaway, I'm doing these suspender giveaways. I know I'm old, you know what I mean? I'm telling you what, suspenders are, if you have them on your tool belt, you need to have them on your person too. I tell you what, if you're always hiking up and you always got it in your crotch area, you know, like the tightness when you're bending over, suspenders will help with that a lot. If you're always pulling up your pants, see, I got old, right? You know, I lost my butt. So I need something to keep them up. And I tell you what, man, it's just nice walking around. It's nice getting into vehicles, service vehicles, personal vehicles. I wear them all the time because they're so helpful. And I know they're old fuddy-duddies, but they work. And most of the time you can cover them up if you're wearing stuff, you know, sweaters, everything else. They just keep everything tight. But what I'm saying is, I think what I'll do, how should I do it? Mr. Tony needs to give me. What's up, Mr. Rich? See Mr. Rich? Or what I might do too is I might just go through this puppy. I might go through this whole live, and whoever comments on it. Like you said though, you gotta be a subscriber, and I might just throw all your names in a hat. But if you really want them, you want to make sure you don't miss that list, you can always email me and be like, hey man, just put me in that drawing, you know. And I'll spin you around in the tumbler and we'll pull a few out. Normally I do like 3 for the giveaway. And that way, in case I'll give somebody, you know, I'm kind of slow at it, so I normally give people like a week. And if they don't get no response, I'll try to reach out a few times. And then I just kind of move on to the second to the third. So I just like to do it that way. What did I miss? Or almost 10. That's right, 9. Oh my gosh, we're so close. We're so close. Okay. What are you? This is what are you? Got Sky. I don't know, Tony. I think that was that Miss. Hey guys, Rich. Okay, do you like rock and roll, Tony? Oh yeah. Let's see here. Pharaoh Bros. Some pretty good hand wipes. Man, I tell you, I think I've used like those orange ones. They're good to have hand wipes, regardless, for cleaning things. I have used those. They are nice. Guys like them, but man, it seems like you can tear those things up pretty fast. You can go through them. They're a little bit pricey. Sometimes I don't like how the pungent, like if they got the orange smell to them, that's kind of strong. You know what I mean? Like on your hands. Sometimes I don't like it. You know, if you reach, you're wiping sweat off and all of a sudden your eyes burning. Or if you're doing something and you smell your hands, you know how you get that whiff? You did something, you're like, what was that? What was that? And so the wipes are good, but that's why I normally wear like the semi-rubber gloves, those Gorilla gloves, like when I'm doing most of my metal work and all my nuts and bolts and stuff. But like I said, I get to the end, I just rip those off in a sense, right? And then I go to latex for doing weather seal. That's just been my go-to. Sometimes it's a little bit hard getting them on because they're sticky, you know, because your hands are sweaty. But it's just nice touch for the outside. It takes a few minutes. Gloves aren't cheap either. You know, those latex gloves, especially if you buy like the good mechanic ones. So when you're like trying to stretch them on because your hands are sweaty, they're not like blowing through. So, pretty good hand wipes. Yes, sir. What's up, Mr. Rich B? Melco, what would you recommend? Okay, so Travis, what do you got here? He's got something. What would you recommend I do for free advertising? Ooh, free advertising. Some of the guys might jump in and say some stuff on that. The free advertising's tough. My personal, you can do stuff on Facebook. I think Facebook has gone south. Like they want you to pay for advertising, honestly. So I don't think they really promote. I just did a test. I'm gonna let you guys know how it goes. I actually just did a test on mine to try out something, and it's basically free. And so I'm gonna see how many bots come in or what the conversations turn into, and I'll let you know how it goes. I got to put a little bit of time into it to see how it goes, but you can always, there's next door. I think it helps a lot if you got your own, like got your business page, Facebook, stuff like that. A lot of those things, Google and stuff like that too, they like stimulation, you know what I mean? So you got to be constantly posting things. You got to be doing pictures, comments. They like stimulation, It's hard to get away with a lot of free. I mean, the business cards I've talked about before, posting them, at restaurants and stuff like that. The guys always on here always recommend lumber yards. Hey, we finally got up to 10 likes. It was so hard and so painful, but thank you guys. What would you recommend I do for free? But like I said, if you think anything, just pop in, man. I can see where you're going with this. You got some good questions. What's this say? To keep your hands clean, Tony says, I use heavy duty hand cleaner towels. They work great to clean the door and the seal. Awesome, man. It sounds like you guys like the hand cleaners. They're good, but it's just they're tough when you got to buy them for like multiple trucks, employees and stuff, because they seem like they can just, it's like a Kleenex, right? A Kleenex box, like with the kids. Instead of grabbing one or two, it's like 5. And you're like, what are you doing? It's like, you can't take that much, So it's kind of one of those things where it's, they can add up, but they do work nice. They are nice to have nice clean, something wet. So, I mean, there's a whole variety. I mean, it's like, for me, I would even carry some extra water on the truck typically, like in a gallon jug. And so I just had something to rinse off my hands sometimes, because sometimes you just need that little bit of water. All the stuff works out good, really. It's great to have it all. Let's see. How do I get a pair of, what does this say? How do I get a pair of Dave? I'm assuming you want me suspended. Put my name in the hat. Okay. He said, I love it. Tony says, put my name in the hat. For sure, Tony. Will do. He says, I lost my hat syndrome too. I think it happens when you're a business owner. Like I said, it's just everybody's chewing on you. You know what I mean? They're always chewing on your ass. You know what I mean? They're always beating you up. So that might be why I lost mine. But my grandpa had them, and I mean, it was one of those things. I was like, I will not wear those. And when I bought the ones, they were Carhartts, and they, like I said, they crimped onto my belt. But what I found out, when you're sweating and just over time, it would wreck the belt. So it was like, belts aren't cheap either, they're, whatever, $40, give or take. So like I said, what was really nice is I like these ones because they, like I said, I'm still going to probably wear these. I just put on the black ones for you guys because I had the wife to try and order 2 of them. But these ones, they kind of lost their stretchiness. They still got a little bit, they're still a little bit there, and I can still use them. But I just know they're getting time. They're getting worn out. And, you can see right here, there's a little bit of riffles in there, kind of in there. But like I said, the fact that it just clips under your belt, and there's typically pressure on that, it just hooks up and underneath. The only thing I do get occasionally is that this thing right here will slide down on you a little bit. So normally in the morning, I have to, kind of snug them back up to the appropriate length, and away I go. But I definitely like the fact that they just clip on to your belt, and I'm always wearing a belt anyways. But like I said, these are probably about 2.5 years old, and I can probably get another year out of them if I really wanted to, stretch it that far. But what I typically do is I like to have something in backup, so I'm ready to go when that time comes. And so when she ordered them, I said, get 2 of them. I said, I'll do a giveaway on one. I said, because they're nice. They're nice. They really are. And if you never had them, they're free of charge. So like I said, if you win them, great, and try them out. Don't like them, don't wear them. But what I actually even do is in the summertime, because I don't like to look like the old man, even though I am one. I wear 2 shirts. I normally wear a garment underneath that's kind of absorbing the sweat, and then I wear a really light shirt, like a high vis or something, and that kind of just disguises it a little bit. If anything, probably people think I'm carrying a pow-pow because, they see the straps and they're kind of looking for like, where's the piece, man? What's he got under there? But it's just my overalls. Says, what's Mr. Rich? Mr. Rich says, what do you got? I said, I sport the bib overhauls too. Man, I tell you what, they're really good. I'm so bummed because I threw my the straps. You know, I threw the straps away from my my tool belt that my mom got me a long time ago. And now, you know, I put more weight in there. You know, when you're working on stuff, it can be anything. It can be roofing, it can be garage doors. And I'm always like, man, I wish I had those suspenders for it. The problem I found out with, I think, what did Rich say here? He said something, I sport the bibs overalls too. The bibs are nice, but what I have a problem with the bibs for sometimes, I got a couple pair I use, is for one, they rub on your nipple, and your nipple gets real sensitive for some reason. Not saying these can't. If you're working really hard, I've had these ones do it too if you're working real hard. But for some reason, the bibs, I cannot get the layout the way I want. And what I mean by that is I can't get all the gear. You know, I can't, you know, like I already got a cell phone holder. I got, like, my Leatherman goes on my, it goes on my belt. You know, so if I got to put the Leatherman now in my pouch, and so it makes me feel puffy in the front, and then if I'm leaning against something, I got something jabbing me. You know, it's just, when I got my normal pants on for work, everything's just bada bing, bada boom. You know, I got, I carry the 2 markers. You know, I carry a pencil, I carry a permanent marker in a pocket. I got the lighter. That's what I got in here. Now I'm starting to carry the AirPods, depending on what I'm doing. They're kind of hard to use. I still like the JBL boombox. That works pretty good. That clips on your waist, but sometimes you're bending over a lot, you'll hit the button, shut it off, it gets annoying. So it just all depends. What's that? Say the orange hand cleaner stuff does smell moldy after a while. Ah, that's probably what it is. Sky, he's probably right. I just know the orange ones. I know they got other stuff out there, right? But the orange ones, man, they just always seem like, I'm not a big lotion guy. I don't like lotion. But the orange ones, they're just so strong, and it's like I think Sky's just right. He nailed it. It smells moldy. Something just it's never like what is it, like Pine Sol? You know, Pine Sol, like when you clean your floor with Pine Sol, it's always like I can always smell more of that. You know, I mean, it never bothers me. But that orange stuff, it's always like I do it and it smells good for the first like 3 seconds, and I'm like, phew, geez, you got a bottle of water, man, and some Dawn dish soap? I gotta wash my hands. So you might be right with that, you know, but like I said, I've touched my eyes and stuff and had my eyes burning, you know, because I'm just, like I said, I'm like a thunderstorm, baby. When it cracks and that rain starts coming down, man, it's coming down and it just doesn't stop. Appreciate it, man. We got up to 12 likes. I appreciate that, you guys. Let's see here. What's Mr. Jet say? Gotta love eating lunch with the hint of right on, brother. Right on. I think you're so right. That's the thing is, you know, it seems like when you're out in the field, you guys ever feel like we're like lone wolves. You know what I mean? Like we're like out in the jungle. You know what I mean? Like we're not at home where we can just walk up to our garden, you know, or not a garden, but our, you know, a garden hose spigot, you know, and just turn on the water and walk inside with our dirty shoes or you know, it's like, you know, you don't think when you're doing it in the moment, right? You're washing your hands or whatever you're doing, you know, and then it's like 10 minutes later, you're just like, you get in the van or the truck and you're like, I am so freaking tired. Like I got to stop at the gas station. I got to get a Gatorade, or I got to get a Minute Maid, or I got to get a bottle of water, you know? And like I said, it's just one of those things, like when you're doing stuff and now you're like, you know, now trust me, latex don't smell the best either, right? I've had that smell too, where it's like you smell that latex. It all kind of sucks. That's why I said sometimes you can't beat the water. You know, the water just, sometimes if you can just have a jug, you know, I used to even buy those jugs that it's got that spigot, you know, but you got to be careful because I've had them get punctured on the truck too, and then they flood and they make a mess. And if you got any kind of concrete of some sort in there, it makes mud. So that's kind of a pain too. So normally what I'd always do is I'd carry, my drinking whatever container with me normally, and then I carry what I call Bubba. He's a big concealed water container. I don't know what size it is. I don't think it's quite a gallon, but it's pretty close to a gallon of water it holds. And that's my refill, but that's also my kind of my last minute, like just kind of scrub the hands. If you got a little bit of dish soap or something on there. There's a lot of stuff you can forget about when you're in the trades. Yeah, there's all the times I've been out, I go to jobs and I'm like, why didn't I pack a lunch today? I should have known I'm going to be, I'm 20, 30 minutes away from town, and, that's one way, so it's like, or paper towels. Paper towels are a real big thing to carry on the trucks too. Wipe your face, wipe the garage door, just have something clean, check the dipstick or something's leaking, something's not working right. Those are some important things. What's it say? Gotta love eating with the golf tees. Easy $100 for the 3-inch golf tees. That's right. Tony got me onto that. I haven't done it yet, but I think that's a great idea. Tony has the idea with the golf tees advertising, and that way they get spread around. They're probably, I don't know, Tony, do you think they're better than like pens? Because pens are kind of the same way. Like every pen I buy, I don't think I've ever had the same pen in my whole life. I get them, the kids take them to school, the kids take them wherever, to sports, to grandma's house they go, they're gone. The wife takes them. I don't know what they do with these things. It's like they eat them. And so I kind of go, man, the golf tees are kind of like it reminds me of the same thing. They're going to do the Houdini, man. They're gone. You leave them behind. It's a nice gesture. But you do think about it. Like I think about it. If I had one in my bag, my golf bag, that might not be a bad, like, if I seen it, right, the glimpse of it, and it's like, oh, this is some kind of garage door, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to keep this, And something happened to my garage door. What's nice about that is I'm going to know where my golf bag is, right? But a pen could have been in the truck, could have been in the wife's car, could have been in a junk drawer, could have been at the bank. I don't remember where I seen it. But it's kind of like that whole like spray lube thing. I think if you guys offered, which I never done yet, I always wanted to, is if you did a spray lube, like a small can after you're done with installing like a garage door, spray the door down, leave them the rest and say, hey, once a year, spray the door down, spray the spring. And what also might happen is they might want to purchase more of that from you, or at least when something does happen in the future or happens to a friend, they're going to go, I got that can of spray lube. Let me go look at it. That's the guy's name. Because things like that people keep, And you don't want to throw it away, especially if it's got something in it. And you might just keep it. If you're like me, I'm kind of weird. I just keep things around like that because I know I won't lose it in a sense. But, business cards and that, those things can do the Houdini sometimes. Ooh, what's up, Mr. Sky? It says, which business magnet, vehicle business magnet signs? I don't think you can go wrong with the business magnet signs. They don't hurt. I'm still kind of a fan a little bit of the magnets ever since we went through the cough syndrome. Because if you got to go basically under the radar, you can, pull the magnet off. I don't think it hurts. And, there is people that do see those things when they pull up behind you or they pull up next to you. I don't know how true it is. They kind of have that saying, like, people have to see it 3 times before they take action. I don't know, but you just never know. I've had people say, hey, I seen a sign on your truck, or I don't know if that was your truck, and I just thought I'd give it a call, and, I need something done. People take pictures of them too, so, nothing can ever hurt, especially when you're first starting out. Everything. You want to go do door hangers, you want to go hang door hangers, give out brochures, you want to do free lube jobs on doors, to get customers, get in there. You'd be amazed how many people, like I said, if it was me, I think it was a couple weekends ago, I was over at, Lowe's or something like that. And I tell you what, man, there were so many people, and I could tell the crowd that was in there. I thought, this is not the normal normal like contractors. These are all residential people. And for you to throw on a shirt, get a shirt that just says, whatever, garage door, this or that, you'd be surprised. Make sure you got some business cards though. Walking around, people, it's like you just gotta get out there and mingle, right? But sometimes if you're not pushing it, it's like it'll come to you. It's kind of like that whole, I always say it's kind of like the girlfriend thing, right? You maybe you've seen a girl you don't want to date for a long time. You finally settle for somebody else, lower, whatever. And then the one comes available and she comes up to you even and is like, hey, would you like to? And you're like, I just like signed up like 2 weeks ago with this other, and And so I found out it's like, it's weird how the universe works, but it's like, if you're more desperate, it's like, it's harder for you, right? But if you go in almost like with a swag and you get the magnet on your truck, or you're putting up the things and you're mingling, you got a shirt or something like that, people will come up to you to some degree and say, hey, but you got to remember too, in this line of business, you got to remember that a lot of times you're like a fireman, or a fire extinguisher, right? Sometimes we're not important until there's a fire, right? So until that garage door spring breaks, they don't care, right? Everything's great. The garage door goes up and down. I don't care. I park in, I park out, and all of a sudden now something happened, and it's sometimes they, might be a friend. You just never know. Everybody's so different in how they do things. Some people are methodical about it. Some people just, go on Yelp. Some people go on Google. Some people go on maybe Yahoo. Some people still look in the phone book. People just, so it's like you just never can guarantee one way is the perfect way. You just got to be kind of spread out. You got to, and you're hoping that you're picking up somebody that's thinking about replacing their garage door. That's why I think it was, is it Tony or Rich or maybe even Sky? They always mention stuff about, like the lumber yards. If you go in there and start talking to them, there's somebody out there. And I tell you what, if you want to drum up a lot of business, I'm not saying like recommending this, but just make your prices really cheap. And they'll just come running because everybody loves a discount, right? I mean, who doesn't love a discount, right? I love a discount. I love cheapness. People just, and unfortunately, you'll drown yourself. You ain't gonna make good profit. You know what I mean? But it's like, if you got to put food on the table, cut your prices. You know what I mean? And provide a good quality service. Do what you say you're gonna do, and good communication. It's kind of weird like that. What's up, Mr. Patrick? Hello. It's good to see you. Good to see you. Belt bros aren't bad. I'm gonna have to check that out. It says Chemical Guys microfiber towels. Chemical Guys micro. Ooh, are great. I've seen those guys, the Chemical Guys. I just haven't, I bought a few things of theirs, but not that much. Like I said, they're still gaining me on some of their products. You know what I mean? I just haven't done enough. I've only done a few. Yeah, I give a box of golf course. Okay. Oh, sweet. There you go. Like Tony says, he says he gives a box out to the golf course. They hand them out. Customer uses them at the course. And other courses, they leave them behind. Other people pick them up. Multiple people see them. Yeah, I think that still is a really good idea on Tony's behalf for the golf tees. I don't think you can go wrong with it. Tony, what you should do though, if you don't mind, you should. How do you get them made? Who do you use? Like I use a company for like if you want banner signs. I think it's Signs on the Cheap. I think they both own and then it's Cheap Signs or something like that too. Signs on the Cheap or Cheap Signs Made or something like that. They reverse it. I've checked their address, so it's the same company. But they work really good for bandit signs if you're looking. Is it Esta? I can't ever say that. Wife knows that. She knows that one. But there you go. Like I said, just use them. Probably pretty easy just to lay out a little, and $100 gets you 1,000 of them. Holy cow. Tony, is there anything is it just like the garage door business name and then a phone number? I'm assuming that's probably all you can fit, So what else are you putting on there? Anything, anything that's like a little catchphrase, you know, free $10% discount with this tea, or just like I said, business name, phone number, anything on them that'll fit. Nice. Oh, I don't know. Tara says hi. I think it's Tara. Hello. I must have bumped that. I'm sorry if I missed anybody. Like I said, sometimes it's a little difficult on this phone. Anybody else got any other questions? Anything new out there? Anybody new LiftMaster that are tear it up? Who are we missing tonight? We're missing Tanner. Mr. Tanner's not on here tonight. He must be taking care of that baby. That's a full-time job, isn't it? We all know when we got kids. I figure I'll stay on here a few more minutes. Like I said, unless anybody's got any questions. What time? 9. Almost bedtime. So anyways, like I said, I hope Gary doesn't watch this whole video just about this trim nailer. I should have said I cut it off. This is when I cut it off. I try to do this stuff in the beginning of the videos. So if people got questions, then I'll try to send it to an old Mr. Gary through the email. But I appreciate it. Like I said, you guys are always more than welcome if you come on here to email me about anything, you know, because I love helping. Like I said, you know, training the next generation, or just seeing what's going on out there in the world, talking to you guys. What has Tony got? Tony's got something. Tony Miller, have you seen a return on... Oh, okay. So he's asking, Tony, if you've seen any return on the golf tees. That's got to be kind of... Tony, do you ask a lot about where people find you? You guys gotta ask. I'm bad at it too. Yeah, you know, like... Sky Red, what's up, man? Thanks, Dave. Cheers. Look at that. Look at all that. Cheers. Gives me a chance to drink. Flipper. Love it. Love it. I always ask. If not, they tell me. Yeah, it's really important. Like I said, I'm still not the best at it. I still to this day, but I try a lot harder than I ever used to. I try to ask when the opportunity is right, you know. But it's like super important. I used to have a check. Every phone call I used to take when I was being the secretary, I would literally, I had a board and I knew all my advertising, right? You know, here's Google, here's whatever, you know, stickers, repeat customer. And I would sit there and I would check it. You know what I mean? Everyone, I'd say, okay, well, you know, blah, blah, blah. I ask all the questions. You know, I always say, how did you find us? And they go, oh, well, I'm a repeat, or I found your sticker on the door, or my neighbor, referral. You know, that was one I had on the list. And then anytime they tell me something new, I was like, geez, I didn't even know about that one, but okay. You know, I seen your sign. And I'm like, sign? What sign? We don't have no signs out right now, but I'm like, okay. So I write down sign to see if anybody else will come, so I could start quizzing them. So definitely, it's definitely important to definitely find out, because it just helps your marketing. And then you also, you know, if you're like putting money into Google, or, you know, it's just like, wow, you know, 75% of my people are coming from Google. And, you know, maybe they probably wouldn't even hurt somehow to document too. Like, what are they? Are they springs? Is it service? Is it, you know, they're looking for an estimate, you know, to see how they're kind of searching for it. There's so many things you can do to try to find it. So what Tony said, what about the old school extension spring police system? That was pretty crazy, wasn't it? Oh man, yeah. Tony sent me some cool looking extension spring. It had a pin that popped out. And I tell you what, man, that's the stuff that's old school. That's like, I don't know, like you just know some old boy was looking out for the next guy, right? When whoever engineered that certain stuff, I love that kind of stuff. I love the era of people building good quality products, you know, that were like that, you know, there was Donnie down the road and there was Bobby, and he's like, you know, Bobby ain't gonna beat me. Mine's gonna last, you know, 20 years, and, you know, well, mine will last 30 years. And I really wish we still lived in that kind of era, instead of the bean counters just going, hey, how can we shave an ounce of pound off this? You know, it's gonna be lighter. It'll cost us less for shipping. It'll
but we'll advertise it as it's lighter to hang. It's going to save your arm, and instead it's just kind of a rolling pile of junk in a sense because everything gets so. I've been kind of addicted to fridges lately. Some of the old school fridges to see what's out there, and it's like some of these options. It's like it feels like you can't even get these in the newer fridges. Some of these cool turnouts, how much weight. I mean, just the beauty of them, right? I mean, they were like the 1957. Is it what is it, Chevy Bel Air, right? It just, I mean, they're beautiful. They're beautiful, and so the fridges has been my new thing lately. I've been getting a lot of feeds on the old refrigerators. I just can't believe it. I just can't believe it. I love old school refrigerators, and they last. They last. They just like they never die. All this new stuff. I don't know if it's gonna make it 5 years. It's sad when you got to go to people for these openers and stuff like that, and got to be like, well, you got 5 to 8 years out of this. That's not. It's an appliance, so I mean, 10 years. It's kind of that. 10, 15 years is kind of the threshold. Time to throw it away and get a new one. What's up? What's up? What's he saying? What about the old school? Yeah, thanks, Dave. Scott. I always ask if they. Okay, me too. I always ask. That's what Mr. Sky says. I found when you go to a job, if you're a nice guy, listen to what they have to say. They don't forget. Put your number in their phone. Sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing. Yeah, I've seen people struggle with it a little bit. Sometimes you got to remember that people love talking about themselves. Typically everybody does. I don't. I could care less to tell you about my story in a sense, except for here. But it is amazing. Tony's got a good point where if you, I always like that whole, you got 2 ears and 1 mouth, so shut up and listen. And all you gotta do is sometimes you just poke little things, right, at certain people, and they just want to tell you the whole life story about it. It could be vehicles, it could be weather, it could be the house. Could be about the garage door. It could be about the sprinkler system. It could be about the statue out front. And you do have to, it is amazing, and I've been guilty of this, about, you go in there and people can sense that stuff on you, right? When you come in there and you're kind of like, yep, okay, well, we're going to get this done, and we're going to, and you're really, you got to remember your customers always, you got to make them feel important, right? You got to always make them feel like they're everything, the residential and stuff like that. Commercial, I don't think as much, really. Kind of go in there, you don't really see it. Maybe go in their office for a few minutes, get a little brief, what's going on, and it's just go to town. You got to work safely, you know what I mean? You got to wear the high vis, you got to wear PPE stuff, whatever they want in the commercial. But residential is a different animal. You got to say hi to Fluffy. You got to wash the shoes. You got to ask, hey, can I wear my shoes in here, or should I take them off? And I've always used discretion. I've been in people's houses and they go, oh no, you don't got. I still take my shoes off. I'm like, no, your floor. I can see the shine from here to the back slider door. There's not one footprint in here. Like, you just cleaned the house yesterday or something. I'm not going to be the one with my nasty boots. And plus, you don't know where I've been. And sometimes you guys know how that is. You've been the last job you were at was a commercial job or something, and your boots are nasty. So you got to take your shoes off and do your whole thing, or wear the little booties. So it is important to, kind of like that thing I've always said, the first 10 minutes is the most important, and the last 10 minutes is really important with the customer. So you got to, so Tony brings up a good point. You got to do your due diligence, Be nice to the customer. Like he says, though, they can put you in their thing, and sometimes they can bug you to death, or they're calling you, giving you business, referring you. Says, what's Mr. Rich says? Says, I have a fridge in the basement that's 35 years old, still kicking. That's nuts. That's nuts, isn't it? I just, drives me, man. I mean, it's all the research and technologies out there, right? All these years in data, and yet we're stuck with sometimes this newer stuff. Like some of these newer trucks that are coming out, I mean, I'm just like, I don't even know. You know what I mean? Like I hear problems after problems. It doesn't, I mean, Ford's got a lot of recalls. Chevy's got electrical issues. Some of the Chevys got transmission problems. I mean, it's just like the new Tundras out even have, the turbos were a problem, the new motors, you know? So, I mean, it's just like, where do you go? You know, I mean, for anything, you know, LiftMaster's got the new commercial stuff out, right? The Max series, am I saying that right? You know, man, a lot of stuff. Power tools have changed even. Some good, some bad. You know, it's just, it's hard to keep up. I tell you what, and that's why sometimes it's kind of difficult in our industry because you got a lot of variables, and that's one thing I always kind of stress, you know, because you got to remember, like, you know, you might be the best garage door guy, right? But eventually you got to buy a truck, right? You got to upgrade. You got to, you know, unless you're just going to keep driving the old stuff, which I'm not saying is bad. If you can buy something that's rust free, clean, whatever, you might have to do that. But it gets hard, right? Because then sometimes it's like you get weeded out because if you're driving something that's 20 or 30 years old and then you take it to a shop and they're like, we don't even know how to, like, we ain't working on this thing. And you're like, why? And they're like, we don't even have scan tools for this thing anymore. You know what I'm saying? So it gets difficult. And then garage doors is the same thing. You're kind of the guinea pig. I'm the guinea pig. You know, install a new product. You install 3 of them, 50 of them, whatever. You know, now you're hoping that they don't have issues. And then they find out there is a glitch. Kind of like, remember we had the light bulb issues? You know, that stunk, you know, because new technology came out. The old power tools, like I said, I thought, oh, the new lithium ones were a lot better, right? Lithium batteries, I think it was. Well, these are old nickel. These are nickel batteries. And these ones, for whatever reason, would charge in the cold. You know what I mean? But the lithium ones would not charge. The chargers would freak out. They had circuit boards in them. I'm sure these have some a little bit too. But these ones were just a lot more robust. They could deal with the cold. Seemed like they did okay in the hot. But, you know, it's just like a new learning curve, you know? I mean, it just sometimes it can be a real pain in the butt. There you go. I like it. Rich knows what's up, man. He knows what's up. The soy wiring. That's funny he brings that up because that's what happened to my brand new, like I said, I bought a brand new service van for the business. Brand new, only 300 miles on it. And all of a sudden I drive it back from the wrap place that we got the whole thing wrapped in an advertisement, and it comes back. I'm driving it back, and of course he's about an hour. Yeah, he's an hour one way from the shop. And all of a sudden the battery light comes on. And I'm like, what gives? What gives? Why is the battery light on? This is a brand new vehicle. I bought a brand new vehicle, so I didn't have to have this thing in the shop. And sure enough, you know, I take it in. They tell me, oh, a mouse got into it. And I'm thinking, really? I mean, it was in a nice garage. In the middle of a nice, it wasn't up against the wall or stash or outside. I mean, really? I mean, there's other vehicles in there that are stashed that look like they've been sitting there for a little longer. And the mouse decided to have to chew, you know, mine. And it might be right with what Rich said with the soy wire. You know, I didn't realize that even existed. You know, and I just remember when I was on the phone, my uncle was there at the shop, and I told him what was going on. And he goes, geez, he goes, don't you think, he says, by now they figured out what to make the wires so mice don't chew it? And then, of course, later time, I learned on through my dad that we were talking about, and he says, well, it's cheaper for them, and it's almost kind of like more biodegradable. Great. So I bought a vehicle that's more biodegradable. That's not what I was really concerned about. I was concerned more about like my pocketbook is taking a heck of a hit, you know, with repairing these other vehicles. So I need this vehicle to be on the road, you know, dependable, you know, treat the technician really good, have nice air conditioning, heat, all this stuff. And here I am now. I got wires that mice like to eat. Great. And where do these things typically park? Outside. Awesome. You know what I mean? So it's like, what a pain in the butt to have to deal with that. So now I'm starting to wonder if they have transmission issues on the 2017 models. I'm hearing something about the torque converters being problems with them. So I don't know. So we'll see. But anywho, anybody got any other questions? If you're on here, you're nervous about asking, I know you don't have to be if you're new here. Like I said, jump on, throw something up. You're more than welcome if you got any questions about garage door. Like I said, Travis was asking, was it Travis? Let me look back here. Let me look. Yes, it was Travis. Travis was asking some good questions. Travis, you know, if I can help you out at all, like I said, you're more welcome to always email me too, you know, on any questions and stuff like that. Otherwise, like I said, throw it up here too. I'll be on here just for a few more minutes and I'll hop out of here, get stuff cleaned up. Like I said, tomorrow is Friday. Unfortunately, up here in Michigan right now, we got a bunch of rainy weather for today and I think tomorrow. So it's kind of one of those, you know, things. Hey, Rich always says, did you see the eclipse? Yes, we got lucky with the eclipse. We ended up, we had clear skies. We weren't obviously the 100% coverage up in Michigan here where we're at. But it was pretty cool. We had the glasses. The kids had an amazing time watching it. It was nothing but like, soon as it started, you know, Dad. I'm like, I know. Looking through the glasses, it's not gonna happen in like 2 minutes. It ain't like we're gonna miss it. So let's just, you know. But they watched the darn thing through the whole thing. It was kind of eerie though. Obviously, when it started getting cooler and the sun, you know, was getting blocked out, it was definitely pretty cool. I think, but it's kind of weird how you hear these rumors that they talk about. Well, it's 300, you know, it's once in a lifetime, 375 years. And I kept thinking, heck, I think I've seen like 2 or 3 in my lifetime. Maybe not full blackout, but it is weird how you look on then you see these other maps and there's other ones for like 2020, is it 2034 or something like that. They're just in different areas, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like, I don't know. It's cool for sure. I'm glad we had clear skies for the kids to see it. I hope it's something that they, you know, remember, you know, it's something pretty cool. Seen the lunar eclipse too. Ooh, nice. No, it's pretty neat. Like I said, it's area got full. Oh, totality, yes. Man, I tell you what. Oh, Rich, man, he's a pretty cool dude. He gets to travel. He's traveling all over the place. He travels so much, he's gonna have to start picking me up because I know he's gone to what was it went to the concert. He sends the stuff to me. Some of these places he goes to, which is I really appreciate it, Rich. I really do. I love seeing the pictures and stuff like that. Tony always sends me some stuff too. You know, just out of the blue, text or email. You know, and it's just cool to see the stuff out there. Like I said, even Tony sending me that roller was really neat. You know, I don't know. I just can't tell you guys how much I love pictures. I mean, it's just like random stuff even, you know, just even if it's like, it can be darn near anything. I love pictures. I don't know why. I love it. I love pictures too from guys that are like way out of state because I think what it is for me is, you know, you know how it is. You can't be everywhere. You know what I mean? I'm not in Florida. I'm not in Texas. You know, I'm not in Arizona. I'm not in Wisconsin. I'm not in Indy. I'm not, you know, I'm not in New York. And it's just cool to see stuff because it's almost like a different culture in a sense. If it's whatever it is, if it's landscape, if it's sunsets, if it's beach, if it's houses, is it, what's the one, Mr. Shane, or Sean, I'm sorry, Sean, he's from the UK. He sends me stuff, man, and I'm like, you guys deal with a lot of bricks, man. Brick structure. He goes big into the high speed stuff. I know he loves that stuff. It's different over here. We don't have a lot of high speed. You know what I mean? And you know, the rolling rubber curtains. You know, and it's just cool to see. You know what I mean? It's just a different world. You know, so anytime I see that stuff, I'm like, you know, oh wow, you know, they got the same as us, or wow, I've never even seen that product. What is that? So it's pretty cool to see all that stuff. What's 20 says? Do your live tomorrow? what'd you send me? Who sent me? I seen something pop up. You're live tomorrow around 7. I'll be on the road heading to Florida. Oh man, Florida to close up my Florida place for the summer. Oh snap, man! Come on, Tony, get me a. Don't you got a room down there? I need somewhere to go. We need to go down there and like hang some doors or something in the wintertime. I'm game. You want me to go down there? I'll run it for you. You want to do an Airbnb or something? I need somewhere warm to go in the wintertime, man. I don't think I can do the Florida humidity though in the summertime. I just, man, up here in Michigan, we get enough humidity sometimes and I'm just drenched. You know, I'd really like to experience in my life sometime though. I'd like to experience more like, I don't know where the driest is. I'm assuming like Arizona, maybe Texas. I don't know. I'd like to experience real hot though with like zero, like very little humidity, because I'd like to experience that. You know, because up here in Michigan, it seems like when we get hot, it's got humidity and I'm just drenched where I'm like, I want to try like 100 and some degrees, but I want like no humidity. So it just evaporates. You know what I mean? I want to experience that. Cause I know when I was down in Arizona, Arizona's even just a different animal. I mean, just, it's amazing. Like as soon as the sun, it's like, holy crap, it dropped like 20, 30 degrees in a matter of like no time. You know, where Michigan sun goes down, it slowly goes down a few degrees here and there, right? Nothing like Arizona. So you watch the sun come up down there too, right? And it was like, you'd be sitting on the porch, and you're like, man, it's cold out this morning, man. It's like a weird cold. And then you get like where you would, the sun would pop up. And I mean, within like a few minutes, as soon as that sun would hit, you were like, whoa, man, that sun is way more powerful. I'm feeling like, whew, man, I gotta take off the sweater, man. Like it's getting hot. I mean, just like that, where like Michigan's more gradual, you know? So it's just kind of weird how that works like that. Pretty cool though, to see what different states have. Let's see here. It says that's right. It says do your live. I don't know what's going on tomorrow. Like I said, Fridays typically for lives aren't that good because they just, I think it's because it's Friday. So people typically are, TGIF and they, it's the weekend and I'll blame them. You know what I mean? People that work jobs and stuff like that. I mean, I get it, man. It's like freedom. I got to go home. I got to do the lawnmower. And some of it also, don't forget, like I said, doing a giveaway. I've seen a few people bopped on. So doing that giveaway, like I said, you got to comment in the video or you got to at least email me, the Daveadubson@gmail.com. And you also need to give this a like. We only got 14. I wanted 10, but I might not sleep unless we get 15. So, Nuts and Pillow, hello. From New York, awesome, man. Like I said, take me over to New York. I want to check some of that stuff out too. I wonder what the garage doors are like over there. You know what I mean? It'd be pretty cool to see. So, let's see here. Oh, sweet. Texas was... Says, what's he got? Do you live tomorrow? Heading down to Florida, clean up Florida place this summer. Let me know. Nice. Texas was like that for me. You could go in the shade. Okay, it was totally different. See, that's stuff I don't know about, like Texas. Different. You cool off. Not like here in Indiana. Couldn't get away from the humidity. Interesting. Rich says Arizona, New Mexico. So that must be where it's probably really dry. You know what I mean? So that's cool. No, that's crazy. Like I said, I don't know why we all of a sudden normally we get a splurge of people like this. You know how this goes, Rich. It normally gets to weirdness. But I think is it Nuts and Pillow? I think you've been on here before on the live, haven't you? From New York? It seems like I remember you. I thought you were starting the garage door stuff. You know what I mean? Like I said, I kind of always like the young bucks to jump in, Like I said, I like helping those guys. We got some good dudes on here too that are more willing to help with any questions and stuff. So like I said, if you're on here, I don't know what happened. I'm still learning this a little bit, but like I said, if you're doing service or garage doors, you're more welcome to ask any questions before I jump off. I hate to leave you hanging. Like I said, if you're here. But like I said, it's weird too because like I said, we can't even get one more like. That's all I ask, one more. Just get 15. Just 15. It's not that much. It's free of charge. We're doing the giveaway. You just got to comment in the video or email me for the suspenders. I know it's not the coolest, baddest thing, but I tell you what, they're dickies and they're really nice. They're super nice. And Ohio, here we go. I can be the installing doors in snow on Monday and need paid by Friday. Yeah, it sounds like just like Michigan, right? We always the joke is, and I'm sure it's everywhere else too, to some degrees. You know, give it 5 minutes, and the weather will change, right? You know, give it 5 minutes, it could be snowing. Give it 5 minutes, it could be raining. Give it 5 minutes, it could be sunny and hot out. It's just how it is, you know. And it seems like the what's up, Mister? Hello, and I noticed with the weather, it's gotten more dramatic too, which is kind of weird. You know what I mean? Like, have you guys noticed? It seems like it goes more extreme, like where it used to be a lot more mellow. It's just, oh, we got one from, is it Smith? I'm gonna say Smith. I can't, the other one I'll mess up. I'm from Michigan. Oh, we got a Michigander? Holy cow! I thought I was the only garage door guy up here. What, Michigan? What part of Michigan? What city? That's pretty cool, having a Michigander. It's awesome. Like I said, look at that. Look at that number up there, you guys. You see that button? That's a thumbs up. There's 14. If we could just get 15, man, I might just shut up and get off here. If we got 15, that's all I've been waiting for, is just 15. I know you guys are sick of hearing me talk. Talked about the trim nailer a little bit. Oh, dang. In Holland, are you doing a lot less snow? Rich, a lot less snow. If you're in Holland, so Smith, are you doing garage doors, or you just down here? You know what I mean? I'm just curious, because if you're in Holland, I do know some of the big dogs down there for garage doors. Like I said, I don't know if you're a garage door guy or not. You know, I was just kind of curious. Holland's a bustin' place, boy. There's a lot of you know, that's like with what is it, Zeeland, Hudsonville. Hudsonville's a pricey area. Holland is growing a lot, has grown a lot since I was a young man. Holland used to be, my parents, we would go down there, just down here, awesome. Holland, though, was the first one for our area. If you guys, Menards is like a Lowe's or Home Depot. And that was the first Menards, I remember. So we drove down there, whatever it was, every other weekend when I was with my my parents. And man, that was the place to go, man. I remember the old song. It just programmed me, save big money at Menards. You know, I mean, they played it over that intercom. I don't think they really play much over the intercom anymore. But they used to play it a lot. Now it's just on TV ads. Just down here, I'm here, tulips are popping. Oh, tulips are popping early. Nice. They got the tulip. Holland's good for that. They are. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, Holland. The only thing I could never stand about Holland, that still gets me when I go down there, if I ever have to go down there to work, is the darn roads. The darn side roads, man. Zigzag and crossed, and nothing's like a T, you know what I mean? It's all on an angle, so you're at a light and you're like, who goes? Is that green light for me? And then you try to, you know, it's just, the roads are crazy down there sometimes. I'm always like, who did this? That's always kind of the weird, you know. So, all right, guys, like I said, doing the giveaway. If you guys want, email me. If you really want to get on top of it, I'll put your name in. Otherwise, I'll go through the comments on this video. So keep a lookout if I mentioned, hey, you were, you know, a winner on this. When I do the tumble on it, I'll pull out a name, and we'll see if we can get this sent off to somebody, and they can use it and enjoy it. And, you know, it's just fun to do a little giveaway, right? So anywho, I'm going to jump off here, you guys. I hope you guys have a great rest of the night or evening or morning or whenever you watch this. Take care. We'll see you on the next one. Thank you for the seasoned vets that are here. And we'll see you on the next one, you guys. Take care. Oh, we made 16. Ooh, I'm going to sleep really good tonight. Thank you, guys.